All right, so my friends, welcome. Complete set review for Alchemy, the Magic Arena only set to augment standard. Digital only cards, a lot of cool designs here, I'm not going to lie. Full thoughts on the format, the positives and the negatives, which there are some, in the very first video in this set review where I go over the set itself and the nerfs and buffs to the cards already in standard. And now we're doing the cards that are new to standard. We did white, blue, and black. Now it's red time. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, of course, watching on YouTube. On Twitch, make sure you follow. I want to remind you all about the holiday cards, subscriber holiday cards for Twitch subscribers and YouTube members. That's my pile drivers. All pile drivers get a holiday card, but I need your address. So make sure you hop on the Discord. All the info's in the announcement channel. Please make sure you get in. You gotta get it in the next few days to get it to get a holiday card. You also get a free token signed by me, as well as a card construct token. So holiday card, I love doing those for my subscribers and my pile drivers. So make sure you get in on that and don't miss out. All right. Also tomorrow will be 5 new brews. We're doing a half of 10 new brews for the new set here, because it's kind of like half a set. So let's jump right here to red with our first card here in Arms Scavenger, and right off the bat, we got a sleeper card. We got a sleeper card here. 2 mana for a 2/2 Human Warrior. Beginning of your upkeep, draft a card from a Scavenger's spellbook, then exile it, and in turn you may play that card. So spellbook, of course. There are a bunch of digital-only mechanics in this set. I'm going over them as I can. But Spellbook is perhaps the craziest one. The craziest one. Let's go over the other scene here. Spellbook is 15 cards. And when you're instructed to draft a card from a Spellbook, you are shown 3 of these 15 cards at random. And you pick one, and it just conjures the card and puts it into your, well, not hand usually, but this one wants you to exile it. So, what we have here is a 2/2. That every upkeep will effectively draw you a crappy equipment. We got Boots of Speed. We got Cliffhaven Kitesail. We've got Colossus Hammer, probably the worst one, honestly. Dueling Sword Thing. We've got Spare Dagger. All these are really cheap, too, which is pretty great. We got Tormentor's Helm, another cheap one. None of these cards are particularly incredible. Gold Vein pick, Jousting Lance, Mask Immolation. Again, go look at these cards on your own time. Pause the video watching on YouTube. Mirror Shield, Relic Axe, Rogue's Gloves, Scavenge Blade, Shield of the Realm, Ceremonial Knife. Real good chance here to draft a random 1-mana equipment, because there are a lot of 1/1, and then they're all like, you wouldn't put Boots of Speed into your deck, but if it's in play, it's a pretty good card, honestly. You know, same with the Kitesail, same with the the sword, the dagger, and stuff. So effectively, Arms Scavenger is a Bob that will draw you a crappy equipment every upkeep. You got to play it right then and there, but they're all super cheap. That's really powerful. There's a card in white that's also equipment based. The problem with equipment is it's often not worth a card. You don't want to put Boots of Speed into your deck, but the card's fine. You know, if there's a card that like makes a card, that's pretty cool. It has to live, but it's 2-drop. And then when this thing's in play for a while, you get a Boots of Speed, and you get a Kitesail. And now you're just like augmenting your creatures for essentially free as far as cards go, and a very low mana cost. You keep going. It's also important to note that these are artifacts, and artifacts are good. Having a lot of artifacts in play is always good all the time in Magic, period, end of story. And a lot of artifact synergy here too. Also a lot of equipment synergy. There's a bajillion Boros equipment cards legal in every format that have never done anything. But this is the kind of card where it can make equipment without putting bad equipment cards into your deck, which is pretty awesome. So I think this card's really cool. Definitely, you know, this is a sleeper pick. This is not like the best card in the set or anything like that, but I think this card's really, really cool and is sneakily very, very good. I'm excited to play it. Looks really awesome to me, and I just think it's sweet. Moving on to our next card, we have Blood Rage Alpha. 4 mana for a 4/3. When ETBs, choose 1. Another wolf or werewolf you control fights a creature you don't control. Or, when you cast your next wolf or werewolf spell, it gains, when this creature enters battlefield, it fights one creature you don't control. This is the kind of card that would be like a bomb rare and limited, just not playable, constructed. A 4/3 for 4 that might fight something is just not good. So, not playable, not good. Very narrow in scope, only good in creature mirrors, not even good there anyway. Just not a good card. Just not a good card. There are like a number of these in this set. Just like 4 mana, reasonable, okay card that just doesn't really cut it in constructed because they're just you can only play so many 4-mana cards. And there's better ones. So I understand that the second part of his ability doesn't expire at end of turn. It doesn't make it good. It's still a conditional effect. So not very exciting. Moving on to Brittle Blast. They made it for an instant. Creatures and planeswalkers your opponents control perpetually gain. If this permanent would die, exile it instead. Brittle Blast deals 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker. So it's kind of like a Soul Seer effect that has some bonus text here that all of your opponent's stuff will exile if it dies. Really, really cool design. I like this card a lot. So 5 mana or 3 mana for 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker is like, that's, baseline. We've seen this effect before a few times. Mildly playable, not great, but okay, But the fact that this also gives all your opponent's stuff the exile clause, so it's like randomly going to get against, things that care about graveyards, so on and so forth, whatever. Really cool card. Sort of like Hero's Downfall-esque. Maybe a main deckable card in some scenarios, but just a cool card. At its floor, this is 3 mana instant, 5 creature planeswalker, exile it. That's pretty good, honestly. It's not great, but pretty solid, and has more upside than that. Cool design, cool card. I like it. Very good against Old Growth Troll. Absolutely. Up next is Conductive Current. Red sorcery. Whew. Flame Break, eat your heart out. Okay, Boomer. Conductive Current deals 3 damage to each creature. Choose an instant or sorcery card in your hand. It perpetually gains. If this spell would deal non-combat damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much plus 2. This card is also awesome. More of a sideboard card, but a very, very powerful effect because, your Anger the God, Sweltering Suns, whatever effect is always playable. But this means the next burn spell you cast is going to be awesome. So it turns your Lightning Strike into a Shrapnel Blast or whatever it is. That's powerful. That's really powerful. And then it's just cool. So there's already like a decent amount of good burn cards in the format. Not a ton, but a decent amount. And then this card kind of fits into that strategy of like the burn cards. It plays well with Chandra, Dress to Kill, which is super awesome. And then it can then upgrade a future copy of itself to a 5 damage sweeper, which is also really cool. So again, I love the perpetual mechanic. I love it. I absolutely love it. Awesome use of it. Super creative design on a very good rate. Card's awesome. Card's super, super cool. I love it. Up next is Electrostatic Blast. 2 mana for an instant. 2 damage to any target. Whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell, and again, that's whenever. If it's 5 turns down the line, 10 turns down the line, this turn, whatever it is, whenever you cast your next instant sorcery spell, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play one of those cards on a turn. This card is also awesome. You're going to find a land a lot of the time. This is basically just like 2 mana shock draw card. As long as you're playing out instant sorceries. And again, I think there's enough critical mass of like cool burn cards. This card's pretty cool. This card's awesome. A lot of red cards here are really good. Almost all these red cards are like rock solid. Because we've seen 3 cards now that are all quite good and no best in show yet. So, really, really good card. This card's going to surprise you. This card's going to play much better than it looks. It's just an awesome card. Really, really good. Not light up a stage, it's only 1 card, but still very, very good. Playable best of 3, yes. This is the new format, those who are just tuning in, Alchemy. It's going to be sort of like a mirror to standard, but for digital only, with rebalanced cards in standard, as well as these new cards, which are digital only. So kind of a crazy playground. We're in totally uncharted territory here, and it's pretty cool. This card's sweet. Up next is Fearsome Whelp. 2 mana for a 1/1 flying dragon. Beginning of your end step. Each dragon in your hand perpetually gains. This spell costs 1 less to cast. Just another awesome card. 1/1 flyer for 2, not so good. But it's a dragon, so you can get your critical mass on dragons going. And then reducing the cost of your Goldspan dragon or your whatever is super cool as well. Is it good enough? I'm not sure. It's sort of like a mana creature for the cards in your hand. It's a little weird because if you play this card and you draw Goldspan Dragon, it's not going to like reduce the cost on it, which is kind of weird, but it's a cool card. It's cute. It's probably not good enough, but it's cool. It's cute. It's a fun card. I like it. It's cool. I'm definitely building a Dragon deck for sure for tomorrow's 5 new brews. Absolutely. No question. No question. And there are a lot of good dragons in Standard too, so there are plenty of things to do with it. Frenzygeist Blaster, another awesome card. 2 mana for a 2/2, Human Wizard Prowess. So 2/2 Prowess for 2 is already like a pretty reasonable baseline stats. When it enters the battlefield, if there are 20 or more instant and or sorcery cards among cards in your graveyard, hand, and library, you may discard a card. If you do, seek an instant or sorcery card. So you get to loot away a card and draw a spell if you have the deck building restraint done. Solid card, again, for a burn deck, pretty cool. It's a wizard for like Wizard's Lighting in Historic. Probably not good enough there. But it's a cool card. There's definitely a critical mass of like cards you can play in your sort of burny red deck. And this is going to be also on that amount of cards. But yeah, card's cool. I like it. Might not be good enough, but is a cool card. I'll definitely try for sure. Card's pretty sweet. And if you're getting value off your discard, also insanely good too. I'm not sure how much you're able to do that though. So, card's cool. Card's cool. Yeah, obviously very good in Phoenix decks for sure. Discarding a Phoenix is pretty awesome. So, it's a freaking fly. I make that like meme sometimes where I'm on board on Arena. I'll like, you saw it fly. You saw it, didn't you? You saw it. It flew right in front of the camera. Or I'll like, I'm bored in Arena, I'll like make the mouse fly around my head like it's a fly, and I'll make a joke. It's a real fly here now. It's karma. Who saw it fly? Who saw it fly around there? I saw it. It was like right in front of the camera. Clip that, somebody. Up next is Gretel Wanted, Cutthroat.
It's a trap.
We got a trap, folks. People are saying in chat, best card for sure. I don't think this card's very good. 2 mana for a 2/2 first strike werewolf. Sure. It does combat damage to a player, exile an online card from their library at random. During any turn you attack with this wolf or werewolf, you may cast that card, and you may spend mana as though a mana may card to cast a spell. So, this card is not Robber of the Rich, because it doesn't have haste. Robber of the Rich was good because it had haste. A 2/2 haste for 2 is a pretty good floor, and then it had upside as well. First strike is not nearly as good as haste. Your opponent can block it. They can kill it. They have plenty of time to deal with it and figure out what they want to do with it. So the front side of his card isn't that great. And then of course the Robber of the Rich effect is like kind of limiting, as far as like when you can cast it, if you can cast it, do you want to cast it this turn, etc., etc. Hitting a spell every turn is kind of cool. But no haste is like pretty rough. So I think this card is. It also has to deal combat damage too. It's not on the attack either. So Robber of the Rich is on the immediate attack. This one has to attack and then actually hit your opponent. So I think this card is pretty overrated and pretty mopey. Flips over on the backside to Feral Outlaw, which is a 2/2 double strike with the same ability. Obviously that's pretty cool. Double strike, trigger twice. Yeah, it's cute. I get it. But the werewolf cards just aren't that good. And this sort of fits that mold. I could see this being a really good sideboard card for like control mirrors, things like that. You're playing an Epiphany mirror, you board this card in, and you just go nuts against them because they can't kill it for whatever reason, and so on and so forth. But overall, I think this card's a bust. I don't think this card's very good. I think it's very, very high ceiling but super low floor, and they're just much better red 2-drops, I think. So, not excited. That's a trap. I'm calling it. Next card here is Tibbles, the Wicked Tormentor. Red 3 Planeswalker. All right. 3 loyalty for a 5-mana Planeswalker. Not a great place to start. But we have a Spellbook ability here. +1, add red. Draft a card from Tibbles' Spellbook, and then exile it. On a turn, you may cast this card. Well, what's in the book, Jim? I'll tell you what's in the book. Devils. We got Chained Brute. 2 mana for a 4/3. Of course, Any card that costs 2 or less that you can cast immediately with Tibbles is a card that needs to be looked at, because obviously you add red, and you have to cast that turn. So we got Chain Brute, but requires you to be sacrificing things to untap it. We got Charmbreaker Devils, which is a pretty expensive, crappy card. We have Festival Crasher, just a 2-drop. You can cast it. Reasonable. Forge Devil, fine. Conditionally fine. Frenzy Devils, not so exciting. Havoc Jester, not so exciting. Hell Rider, pretty good card, but I don't know what, Tibble deck wants Hell Rider. Hobble Fiend, random 2-drop. Pitchburn Devils, kind of eh. Sin Prodder, classic terrible card. Sin Prodder. Spiteful Prankster, a 3-drop. Tibble's Rager, random 2-drop. Torch Fiend, random 2-drop. Brimstone Vandal, random 3-drop. And Devil's Play, pretty good. I don't think it's very good, though. Overall, most of these cards are pretty bad. The random 2-drops are okay, but if I'm playing a 5-mana Planeswalker, that's going to go to 4 loyalty, and all I get's a freaking 2/1. It's not so good. So, other possibility is deals. I mean, it is obviously an ability you can play later on, so like I can just like plus it on the next turn, all my mana up, and like cast a Festival Crasher, a Charmbreaker Devils or whatever. So that's definitely a thing, but overall not super enthralled by the possibility. Second possibility is 3 damage to target creature or Planeswalker. Unless a controller has Tibble, deal 3 damage to them. If they do, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. That's pretty bad. That's the Punisher mechanic on steroids there. Your opponent gets to decide what they want to do, doesn't actually kill stuff, Lava Spike them, and you get to loot a card, which is whatever. Not very impressed with that plus either. And the minus ability is -X, make X Devils with the usual Devil Ping ability. So the floor here is the backside of Burn Down the House. 5 mana, make 3 Devils, call it a day. Which is honestly not a bad floor. That is like not the worst thing ever. But very high variance Planeswalker. 5 mana is a ton. You're not really sure what you're getting with it. You can't kill things reliably. You can't draw good spells reliably. Just a bust. It looks kind of fun, honestly. But overall, just a bust. I think this card's just not very good. It's not very good. Poor Tibble, Poor Tibble. Always getting Planeswalkers. All right. And our next card is Torahs Disciple. I freaking love this card.
Bingo!
Love this card. And again, I really do love these digital designs that are like this. Super simple, super elegant, super fun. I suppose you could do it in paper in theory. But 3 mana for a 3/3 haste, which is obviously the baseline. Whenever it attacks, conjure 4 cards named Lightning Bolt. That's right, Lightning Bolt. Into your library. Then shuffle. That's just freaking cool. I'm sorry. That's really, really cool. How good is it? I don't know, honestly. The thing is that, like, a 3/3 haste for 3 is already, like, fine. It's not great, but it's fine. It's very, very passable. And then you attack again. Now you have 8 Lightning Bolts in your deck. That's freaking awesome. So, super cool card. Can't wait to cast this one. This card's just awesome, honestly. You got to draw them, for sure. They're not in your hand, and you might never draw one of them. But again, the floor here is super reasonable, and the ceiling is really, really high. So, it's cool. I like it. Haste and attack trigger, everything in 2-drop where I want it to be. Exactly. Pretty cool. Not best in show, though. Not best in show. Best in show is easily Town Razor Tyrant. This card looks like it was printed in Urza Saga. Land Destruction back in Standard Alchemy. 4 mana, 4/4 Flying Dragon. That's a pretty standard base. Enters the battlefield, target land you don't control. Loses all abilities except mana abilities and gains, beginning of your upkeep, this permanent deals 2 damage to you, unless you sacrifice it. So, it's a Sulfuric Vortex or it's a Stone Rain. And both those cards are real, real good. And then on top of that, it can also nullify your creature lands and other utility lands, things like that. All for the reasonable price of a 4/4 flyer for 4. And then even if they kill it immediately, you've still Vortexed or Stone Rained them regardless. How is this one not the Punisher mechanic? Because what you're getting is already really good. So what you're getting here is the ability to hurt your opponent's mana base or hurt them in some way, which would both be good things. You always get the 4/4 flyer. That part's easy. And then if they kill it, you've gotten value as well. If you play the Tibble and try and kill a creature and they let you kill it, that's going to lose you the game. If they kill this thing or whatever, and you get to deal some damage to them, whatever it is, that's fine, because the dragon is still good by itself. So, super, super awesome card. Just really, really, really powerful. I really hate this fly. My co-star today. But cards, you saw it. There it is. See it? You see it? There it is. I swear, I'm not lying. It's not an effect. It's a real fly. I'm not paying him, though. I'm not paying him at all. It's so freaking annoying. God. But yeah, super, super powerful card. You don't see this kind of land destruction effect in modern day Magic. This card's real freaking good. This card is real freaking good. So that is our best in show, and that is Red. Wrapping up Red. You two folks, love you. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on your best in show is. Let me know your thoughts. Keep positive though. A lot of negativity around this set, and I think there's a lot of really cool things happening. There are bad things too. Don't get me wrong. I discussed those in the first video, but overall, a lot of cool cards, a lot of cool designs. I'm stoked to play with them. You two folks, love you. Like, comment, subscribe. Green's coming up.